On tap, Racer 5 IPA.
Better beer authority, better beer.
Hi, I'm James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority. Today, we taste Racer 5 IPA, one of the flagship beers of Bear Republic Brewing Company, located in wine country. La-di-da. This brewery from Sonoma County, California was founded in 1995 by Richard Norgrove and his wife Tami. Racer 5 IPA is an American IPA with 7% ABV and over 75 IBUs. The company says it is brewed with American Pale and Crystal malts and is heavily hopped with Chinook, Cascade, Columbus, and Centennial hops. In 2009, it won a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival. Mark, Aroma.
Well, it smells like an IPA. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's got a lot of good floral hop in the nose, which I think is pretty pleasant. I think that the combination, the 4 C's of hops really blend well together. It's got a real nice floral, a little bit of pine to it, which I think is nice. I mean, the beer is very welcoming on the nose, which I think is pretty sweet. So anybody out there who is more of a fan of the floral side of hops is going to enjoy this.
Joby, flavor.
Gotcha, James. This is your typical, I don't want to say typical, it's a great IPA. The flavors, you definitely taste the big 4C hops that Mark was talking about with the aroma. But, it comes piney, a little floral, not so much citrus, a little citrus, but it hits you up front and then it's done. It doesn't really leave a bitter, floral, piney aftertaste.
It doesn't leave a lot of hop bitterness. It just leaves behind the flavor.
Right. Which
cool.
is good, which is nice that, for me, the people that watch this show, they know that I'm not a big fan of long-lasting, bitter-tasting beers. And this is good. It's got the great hoppy flavor up front, hits you good, and then it's done.
Scott, as this beer warms, does it change?
I think the citrus and the piney and everything kind of comes out of it a little bit more. I really think this beer, I think Joby kind of started to say it and then stepped away from it when he said that this has everything that, it's standard IPA, but I think he kind of backpedaled a little bit for the same reason I would as well. I think this has standard IPA flavor notes, but it has more of an extraordinary flavor and combination of it all. I think that it really brings it all together, and this has a floral bouquet that really comes together well both on the nose and in the mouth. Mark,
This beer, I want your rating, but after that, I also want to know, this is 75 IBUs. And I don't know if this makes sense, but does that seem like the right amount of IBUs for this beer?
Well, I'll go ahead and field the IBUs first. I'm really trying to think over the course of history with the different IPAs that I've had and really have a good collective thought about beers that I've had that I knew had high or low IBUs and actually tasted very bitter or didn't really have much bitterness at all. And I'm having a hard time drawing from memory, but somehow I feel like maybe 75 IBUs might be too much. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, but to me, I'm not tasting a lot of bitterness.
So maybe the malt is balancing the IBUs.
Well,
really
I think, yeah, there we go. That's a good way to put it. I think that there is a great hop character to this that really brings a lot of good bitterness to the table. But it's just so very well offset and balanced with, the malts that they actually brewed the beer with. So I'll go with that. And along with my assessment of the IBUs, I'm going to say the beer is a 7. I would suggest that people, if they see this beer, give it a shot. I think it's very worth, a try from anybody, especially if you like IPAs. I think this really stands up to the name very well. I'm not a huge IPA guy, but I do enjoy the beer a lot. So 7, definitely.
Okay. Joby, what is your rating? What's your big picture on this beer?
James, I'm really digging this beer, man. Probably one of the better beers I've had this year. Great that Scott brought it tonight, and I'm glad he did.
Do you guys want a hug?
I kind of want to hug a little bit. Little man brace there.
That works.
But over the 2 years that we've been doing this, my palate's definitely changed because when we started, I would have spit this beer out. The BMC douchebag tag would have been right there, and I would have hated this beer. But you know, it's great. It doesn't have the overwhelming bitterness in that, you know, that I come to not like with IPAs. It hits you up front, like I said earlier, and it kind of quits. So anytime I can get my hands on this, I probably will pick it up. I'm going to go with a 9 for this beer, James. I think it's really good.
Okay, 9. Scott, I want your rating, and also, is this a complex beer?
Well, with the way it's been described, it sounds like it. I'd give it a 9. This is a great beer. I think that it is complex, but at the same time, for me, I mean, it's hard for me to give a rating and an opinion on this beer without putting out the fact that I love Chinook, Cascade, Centennial, Columbus hops. I know what the profile offers, so it's something that I'm used to. It's something that I look forward to. I love the piney, I love the citrus and grapefruit, so I almost seek it out. So for me, this beer gave what I expected and a little bit more as well with its balance, because even I'll kind of follow up with what Mark said. And
Scott, Mark, Scott.
No hug for you because I don't even know you. No, I'll follow up with what Mark said as far as the IBUs. It doesn't taste like it has 75 IBUs, but then again, who's to say what 75 IBUs taste like? Because when you balance it and mix it with malts and hops and citrus, and when you mix it with everything else, it kind of comes out different with every beer. But it definitely is balanced and complex and has everything that I look for in an IPA.
Well, so far in 2011, Little Something Something by Lagunitas is our highest rated beer of the year. And they also use Chinook, Centennial, Columbus, Cascade. So they're using the same hops. This gets a high rating. Are we just predisposed to that sort of combination of hops?
No, I think maybe my palate personally has changed to where I appreciate that more, and I like the grapefruit, and I don't like sweet beers, so I like it when they bring it bitter.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like Scott was saying, he knows the profile of those hops, and he's starting to like those. And I think I'm along those lines too. I almost want to go out there and find one that has those hops that I don't like, just to see how it's made differently. Because I'm sure there's one out there that it has a real long-lasting bitterness aftertaste.
What do you think the chances are that just happens to be the magical combination of hops?
6.
What if that's what you do? Somebody found the key. They say you mix the 4 C's together and you're going to have a sweet beer.
The 4 C's, that's kind of funny because there's actually a beer called the 4 C's that's brewed out of a brew house here in Ohio.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. But I'm saying maybe that's magically what happens when you have a marriage of all these great hops. You throw a little bit of malt character in there and it just turns out to be a badass beer.
To be magically delicious. All right, well, when we're homebrewing, Scott, we can try the 4 C's and we'll see if we're magically delicious.
We'll see.
That'll probably be the one that I hate, so looking forward to it, guys.
Well, we don't like him, so that's okay.
Racer 5 IPA gets a 8.3 on the BBA scale. What's your favorite beer from Bear Republic? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching. I'm James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority.
Better Beer Authority. Better Beer Authority. Better Beer Authority.